Good morning, Wellspring. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, dear Wellspring. Happy birthday to us. Okay, Zoomland, we are going to mute you and unmute you after the service ends. I am pretty loud. So what else? What else is new, right? My name is Judy Bethman, and I'm part of your Sunday service team. And I need to do this a little further. Thank you very much, darling. Okay. Our upcoming speakers for November, next week we have Reverend Kamatara, and we welcome Peggy Shin back from Mexico at the end of the month. The Thursday evening group meets every Thursday at 7 p.m. And we're continuing with the Greg Braden series called Missing Links. And I think we're in series 3 now. How many series are there? A plethora. Okay. Today is birthday Sunday. Isn't that great? So after service, we will have a luncheon and a little party. And so please come and join us. You in Zoomland will just have to eat virtual cake, I guess. Okay. Next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, November 18th, Jean Geringer is doing another dowsing workshop from 1:30 to 4, and the fee is $25. And lastly, our prayer team is ready to serve you and support you. You may submit your prayer request via the webpage or give it to Edward. Our prayer team meets virtually every Tuesday afternoon at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider sitting in your quiet space during that time. We know we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no limits. All right. As the vibration of that pitch enters our body and our ears and our soul, breathing into the spaciousness of now with deep reverence and awe, we acknowledge the inimitable power and indwelling presence of the divine, which abides in us and in this church and enfolds in this church. We invoke the spirits of the saints who have come before us, Sam and Nancy, Don Minden, Geneva Collins, Martha Ward, Gail Ginn, and I'm sure there were other people, and I need you to know that we recognize your heroic work in keeping our beloved Wellspring viable and sustainable and a healthy part of the community. We invoke the Mother God, Great Spirit, to surround this sanctuary, these people, this community, this world, this universe, in the divine love that is always present. And we know we can tap into that divine love whenever needed. For this we give great thanks, and so it is. All right, let's stand up and sing "This Is My Perfect World."
Music of the spheres.
and fine voice this morning. Please sit down as we read our vision, mission, and affirmation. Our vision is to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission, to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. Our affirmation. This month, I turn my thoughts to gratitude. I know that my highest and best is expressing through every activity and experience in my life. For this, I am grateful, and so it is. And our guest music is Barry. What are you going to play, Barry? And love does change everything, doesn't it? Isn't the new piano, doesn't it sound wonderful? You can't imagine the difference, until we heard the difference. All right, well, the reading today is coming from the Science of Mind magazine. And it is by Linda Watson, who is RSCP Emeritus. Okay. I didn't know you can go emeritus with RSCP. Okay. She says, as I center into the sanctuary of my soul, I am reminded how inextricably connected each of us is with all creation, everything invisible and visible realm. I behold the miraculous nature of life that animates, sustains, and orchestrates all of creation. It grows each leaf on every tree. That turns into an acorn, into an oak tree, keeps the planets in their orbits and bring forth life itself. The extraordinary, miraculousness of our very existence. I'll say that again. The extraordinary miraculousness of our very existence. Let us affirm our ultimate purpose to be a transparency, a portal of love and wisdom of the divine to fully express as us, so that we may be a beneficial presence and blessing to all we encounter in all of our experiences. May the sustaining grace of our awakened awareness guide us in our co-creative partnership with the divine. Our co-creative partnership with the divine. Encoded in each of us is a larger, more expanded rendition of our life, seeking to emerge as passion and purpose. In unexpected moments, we may have glimpsed our inherent capabilities, competencies, and capacities, and wondered how to express them in a greater way. In the awareness that we are always sourced and resourced by Spirit, may we be receptive to the divine guidance and inspiration of generative, creative ways of cultivating and nurturing our passion and our purpose. With endless gratitude for the resolute reassurance and imminent fulfillment of this prayer, I affirm that this inherent awareness of our oneness and union with Spirit be ever more deeply embedded and embodied in our consciousness. May we wholeheartedly receive the gifts and blessings already and always in us. I rest and I release this proclamation of truth, this word, into the law of mind, which invariably brings forth into full expression as the seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibilities. And for our church, let us be that seed in the fertile soil of infinite possibilities that we don't even know exist into our future. And so it is. Now it's my great privilege to present to you Dr. Edward Burlbaw.
Well, another amazing day, wouldn't you say? And not just because it is our 21st birthday celebration, but because I am now having to acknowledge that Spirit works through every one of us that puts on the service. I couldn't have thought of a better reading that goes with what I was going to say. And as a matter of fact, I thought some of the words said it much better than I was planning. But that's okay. And as I always say, why not expect amazing? There's no reason why we shouldn't. So today we are celebrating Wellspring's 21st birthday. And the title of my talk is, Are We Ready Now? You know, 21 years ago, Sam birthed Wellspring, along with some of you who are here with us today. And some of us were not part of the original group. Those who participated in Wellspring's birth saw at least a part of Sam and Nancy's vision. Those of us who joined later found ourselves attracted to something, perhaps even something indescribable. But we just knew that what we had found, we wanted to continue to be around. So over the years, more came to Wellspring and many left. The reasons for their coming and going varied, and sometimes even they couldn't put their finger on exactly why. Sam used to say, when someone showed up after having been absent for quite a while, He said, I was always curious to know what was going on in their life because for some reason they needed just a little bit of a lift or an injection of whatever it is that Wellspring had. And so he said, I'd always seek them out and say, so what's going on with you these days? Maybe they just needed a Wellspring tune-up. So it's been said that Wellspring is a welling up or a spring of love, peace, and joy. And I think it has always tried at least, and probably been, I think we've been successful, to be a judgment-free zone. We used to have a pen up here, if you recall, from one of the local gyms. It said the judgment-free zone. The Wellspring community is a loving community. And as many remember, they were greeted with a hug as they came in the door. Now, perhaps there's a little less hugging of newcomers going on now, post-19, COVID, yes. The love and the care, however, can't be diminished. The vibrations of love, peace, and joy remain and are palpable upon entering the property. I'm speaking of characteristics that are, say, more or less visible to those who come. However, I believe there's another phenomenon going on that's less overt, but it's real nevertheless. There's an energetic experience happening. Even before a newcomer hears about Wellspring, you might imagine that the law of attraction is working. In a way, at some very deep level, they, as we did, are sending out, if you might think of tendrils of energy, like these neurons trying to connect. They want to sample the energy of Wellspring. This energetic sampling continues even after their first contact with the community. It's like asking, is this a place I can fit in? Do I fit in here? Etc. Equally deep, and maybe not as close to their awareness, is this a place I can grow? Am I safe here? Will I still be loved and accepted when they see my darkest secrets? Will I be supported even when I'm dealing with my garbage? And deeper still, will these people see through my garbage to the glorious spiritual being that I have forgotten I am? And then hold space for me while I remember it for myself. Every one of us is yearning to remember who we truly are. And when we find a community or a situation which facilitates our remembrance, we connect with it. And from the other end, at the same time, the Wellspring beacon is shining brightly. Sometimes, perhaps, under a bushel basket. It's like a well-kept secret in Las Cruces. The light that is Wellspring must reach out to those who are seeking. And how exactly we do that may be the $50,000 question. Well, let's return to our 21st birthday celebration. In the secular space, age 21 marks a number of added privileges and responsibilities. 21 was considered the coming of age, the legal age signifying the reaching of adulthood and independence, when you can legally purchase alcohol and cigarettes, right? Could officially own land, make a will, and vote. It marks the transition into adulthood and the responsibilities that come along with it. And I think everyone in this room has gone through that time and may have fond memories, or not, of that birthday celebration. Yes, the way some kids celebrate it, they do not know what happened. I bring that up to relate it to the significance of Wellspring reaching the age of 21. 8 years ago, at the age of 13, when we were just barely teenagers, Wellspring began working on adulting, as the expression is. As many know, that was the year that Sam retired. We attempted to replace Sam with another leader within a hierarchically structured spiritual community. When that didn't work out, we regrouped and tried again with similar results. You could say we were slow learners, or just that it took a little longer to dissolve the community consciousness that called for a single leader. At any rate, we have arrived. Wellspring is an adult. We are not anybody's stepchild. We don't have to wait for anybody's permission or leadership to step out on our own, following our own guidance. And it is not just one individual's guidance. It is the guidance of the collective consciousness of our community. Our struggle wasn't or isn't much different than the evolution the world is going through right now. If you think of it, all the divisiveness, conflict, and war occurring right now might be the struggle of those stuck in the Piscean age as they try to keep it that way, the way it has always been, instead of embracing the wave of the Aquarian age. The collective or race consciousness has an energy of its own. It takes love energy to dissolve that. Anyway, back to the here and now and the 21-year-old Wellspring. I'm not going to roll out some 5-year plan akin to what every church in the world is trying to do so we can have a bigger congregation or more money in our treasury, etc., and so forth. However, I do know there were some ideas floating around in the ethers that are condensing in the minds of several folks that will be taking shape shortly. What I am going to say, though, is that we have our own special sauce. It's available to all. We understand and work in the realm of infinite possibilities, and we know how to use the power of prayer. So let us be reminded, perhaps my paraphrasing of our spiritual mind treatment. We start with an intention. We know that it is in the realm of God for that to happen. We know and affirm that we are godlings with access to that same possibility. And we feel what it is like to be here already. And then we give thanks with the trust and faith that it is so. And we let it go and let God handle the rest. I get a daily email from The Secret. And so this just, or is it that or is Facebook? It doesn't matter. The title of it is, Believe You Have Received. It takes no time for the universe to manifest what you want. Any time delay you experience is due to you getting to the place of believing, knowing and feeling that you already have it. It's you getting yourself on the frequency of what you want. When you are on that frequency, then what you want will appear. In our Thursday evening group, this last Thursday, Greg Braden talked about a Native American rain prayer. And he witnessed a friend of his invited him to go witness a prayer for rain. a few years ago, and they live in the Taos area, and it had been very dry for a while. And so they went out to the special circle, and he observed his friend get in the middle of the circle, and he stood there for a while. He didn't say anything. He didn't dance. He just stood there. And as Greg was sitting there, he's saying, okay, it's going to start pretty soon, I guess. And his friend left the circle. And Greg says, but wait, aren't you going to pray for rain? And the guy says, no. We don't pray for something we want, because that just reinforces the fact that we don't already have it. He said, what I did as I stood there, I felt the rain falling on my shoulders and on my head. I felt the mud squeezing up through my toes. I smelled rain on the desert, changing the odors of the plants, the sound of it striking the sides of the Pueblo buildings. He says, I just lived and experienced it. So they went back to town, and needless to say, it did start raining. So let's apply this to our growing community. And I'm going to just read one part here. It says, it's you getting yourself on the frequency of what you want. Any manifestation in the 3D plane must be accompanied or preceded by work on the spiritual plane. In that sense, it's called the mental equivalent in some of Ernest Holmes's writing. So let me ask you all, why do we want a larger community? And it's open for, just yell out, why do we want a larger community? More energy. Okay, more energy? More fun?
More introduction to other people.
More introduction to other people? Yeah. So let me ask this. Is it our need for a larger community? No. Not really. At least not in the way that question was asked. But our need is more of a soul desire to give more love. That is the need we have. You know, the Course in Miracles says our job here on earth is to extend love. Right? We are wellsprings of love. We came here to earth with that intention of being love, and more, of course. And I was listening to Reverend Sandy's talk from last Sunday, and she read something out of Ernest Holmes, This Thing Called You, chapter 8, and I'm going to say it again. It is the spirit in you seeking an avenue of expression through you. That's our need. In sales and marketing, they say find a need and fill it. So if you're selling cars, you don't look for people who want to buy airplanes, right? And same thing goes with pickup trucks. If your dealership only has sedans, you don't go looking for guys with mud on their boots that want pickup trucks. If you want to be successful, you must have what a potential customer is looking for. It's just basic sales. So I want to read something from, it actually is today's Science of Mind magazine, the daily reading. And it's called Make a Conscious Connection. While loneliness has the potential to kill, connection has even more potential to heal. People are dying for real human interest, for genuine friendship, for someone to tell them they are all right. And so here's the story. It says, most people want to get through the grocery checkout as quickly as possible. But a Dutch grocery store has created a slower checkout lane on purpose. Jumbo Supermarket, with more than 700 stores worldwide, created a chatter checkout lane that allows customers to connect with specially trained checkers who have conversations with them as they ring up their groceries. This unique program helps address the issue of loneliness in the elderly population the grocery chain serves. Jumbo also offers a special coffee corner where customers sit down and have coffee while they chat with volunteers. Both the Chatter Checkout and the Coffee Corner are part of the initiatives the company started in response to a nationwide One Against Loneliness campaign. Jumbo's executives recognized that to be a good citizen in its communities, the stores had to care for the individuals who frequent them. Loneliness and isolation are a threat to all age groups, but especially the elderly. Studies show that loneliness can lead to depression, anxiety disorders, and a decrease in self-esteem and self-worth. The chatter checkout lanes are typically slower than the regular lanes, but many people choose these lanes and don't mind waiting because they enjoy the chance to connect. Can a simple conversation in the grocery store make a difference? Jumbo is proving that it can. In our hurried up world, it's inspiring to see a corporation commit to being a place of connection in the lives of its customers. And the affirmation for today: I make conscious connections with others throughout my day. I think the grocery store did something that maybe on the surface didn't look like it was going to increase the bottom line. You could kind of imagine the talk in the corporate meeting amongst the bean counters saying, well, you know, every moment, every person we get through that checker is more money, and so on and so forth. But I think that it probably increased sales in ways that they could only have imagined. You know, imagine it spreading around the community. Hey, go to Jumbo. I just love the checker. I mean, back when we had checkers even at Albertsons, there were some checkers there that were so special. And we would go to, now we go, yeah, scan through that thing, right? Oh, anyway, enough of that. So let's say with respect to Wellspring, let's put our perceived needs aside, because we know and affirm that our needs are met by Spirit. And there is an abundance in the infinite possibilities of the universe. So if you recall the famous expression from JFK, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Ask what is ours to do to meet the needs of the larger community right here and now. How can we be the love to all we meet? How can we take an extra couple of seconds to greet someone with a smile? Everyone on this planet is looking for a connection. Everyone is looking for help in remembering who they are. Everyone is seeking love. So start every day with affirming to make a conscious connection with others throughout the day. Now, last Thursday after our talk, or after the video we watched and stuff, we did a little exercise for peace in the world. And again, we followed the ancient Indian tradition of feeling what it felt like for there to be peace in the world. Those of us who were there were quite moved Everyone participated. There was no question that in our minds it had made a difference. And so let us do something similar today. We always start this by going into our place of love, our heart. And we take a breath, and we take a belly breath. As I say, the Buddha breath, the Buddha belly. As we breathe through our belly, it's assuring our bodies that we are safe. Then we let it out. And we let it out more slowly than we bring it in. It's almost acknowledging that first breath, that next breath will be there when we're ready for it. We don't have to force anything. We breathe in slowly. And then we go to a place that is love for us, where we feel that expression of love. We continue our breathing, and we continue that feeling of love. We know that we are here on purpose, with a purpose, and that purpose is to extend love to the entire world. Right now, we particularly extend it to the Middle East, to Israel, Palestinians, Gaza. We know that love there can change the mindsets of those in God's time, not our time. We also know that this love that we're feeling within ourselves is expanding to this entire room and to those on Zoom. There's nothing greater than love. Nothing can stop love flowing from this very place, this very room. So we just know that Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Spirit is extending its love, its blessings, its joy, its happiness through us. And a little bit of that is sticking on us as it goes through. And so as we stay in this moment, we move through our affirmative treatment. There are those in our close-knit families and our friends, our community that are experiencing something that might be described as less than love, less than joy, less than peace, less than health, less than abundance. We just know that that abundance, that joy, that peace, that health is already present in their lives. We know that they are being lifted even before they speak it, even before they ask. They are being supported and held in that one divine being, that Spirit, that Mother, Father, God. That is a piece and a part of every one of us, and we are a piece and a part of it. So we just know that we have no cares in the world. We have no greater need than to just extend love, because we are part of this divine flow. So we just feel that all of the concerns of us in the world are being taken care of. We have this sense of joy, peace of mind, that all good is finding its way and its expression through each and every one of us. So we give thanks for this. We give thanks for an understanding of how prayer works. And we release it into the law, knowing that it's already being done. And so it is. Yes. Now, Barry, we have some more music from your magical hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Do you want me to go ahead? All right. Now it's time for our offering. And if Judy could bring up the offering basket. Come a little closer, Brenda. Judy, thank you. We stand here and we just feel the abundance being demonstrated through these offerings. We know that this physical representation of God's bounty is useful in keeping the lights on, our speakers, our musicians. The food, the birthday cake. We just feel the joy of the giving because we enjoy the results. We also know that we affirm with our gifts that we are participating in that flow of abundance, and it gives us great joy. And so it is. Thank you, Judy. And there are a few more folks who have been working with us today. Of course, we have Judy, who's also our platform assistant. Thank you. And Brenda, who sits there quietly in the back, keeping track of our technology. And Jim, our cameraman for the day. We thank him as well. And Barry, we give you thanks as well. Thank you. Beautiful music, beautiful music. So let's see. All right. And we thank you for joining us in Zoom land today. And those, of course, here in the sanctuary. As your special treat, you get to enjoy a luncheon and an ice cream cake provided by Wellspring in celebration of its birthday. And there is a birthday card over there, so if you feel so moved, sign something in that, and it'll be great. Excuse me. So please stand if you're able and read with me the benediction, followed by our congregational song. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world, and so it is. And if you feel moved, join hands and sing out.